You ever had something so ordinary stolen, you thought you were losing your mind? That's exactly how my nightmare began, with a trash can. Not jewelry, not my truck, just a plain city-issued green trash bin. But that one stupid can turned my quiet neighborhood into a battlefield. And the thief? None other than our self-appointed queen bee, HOA Karen. It was trash day, early morning. I dragged my bin to the curb like always, sipping coffee and half asleep. By noon I walked outside and it was gone. At first, I thought the garbage truck had broken it, or maybe the city messed up. But when I called the sanitation department, they laughed. "Sir, your bin was picked up, emptied and set back down. If it's missing, it's not on us." That's when my stomach dropped. The next clue came from my neighbor Tom. He whispered like we were in a spy movie. "I saw Karen rolling a green bin up to her garage. Said it was hers now. She even bragged about it. You see, Karen wasn't just any neighbor. She was the HOA president, the type who printed out rules and taped them to your door, the kind who measured lawns with a ruler, the type who believed every object in the neighborhood was her kingdom. And now, apparently, my trash can had been confiscated because, as she later put it, it didn't meet HOA standards. But here's the thing. I'm not the type to let someone get away with nonsense. A few months earlier, after my bike got stolen, I'd invested in a set of GPS trackers, tiny devices, easy to hide. I had slipped one inside my trash can just for kicks, figuring if another petty theft happened, I'd know. And now, that little tracker was lighting up my phone screen with a blinking red dot. Guess where it was? Karen's garage. My blood boiled. She thought she could walk off with my property, laugh in my face, and hide behind HOA rules. But she had no idea I was watching her every move in real time. I wasn't just going to get my bin back, I was going to teach her a lesson she'd never forget. The tracker pinged again. Still in her garage. Still smug. Still hers, until I decided otherwise. I grabbed my keys, snapped a picture of the GPS location, and whispered, "Game on, Karen." The garage door was halfway open when I walked up Karen's driveway. I could already see it. My trash can, bold as day, parked right beside her shiny SUV. She had even slapped an HOA sticker on the side like it was officially hers. That was the kind of arrogance she thrived on. Karen spotted me before I could even speak. She strutted out like she was marching to war, arms crossed, lips curled in that permanent smirk she wore whenever she thought she had the upper hand. "Can I help you?" she asked, dragging out each word with syrupy mock politeness. I pointed straight at the bin. "That's mine. You rolled it off my curb this morning." Karen chuckled, that high-pitched, glass-shattering laugh only she could produce. "Oh, no. That one didn't meet the HOA guidelines. It was scuffed, dirty, and an embarrassment to the neighborhood. I confiscated it for the good of our community. You should be thanking me." My jaw clenched so tight I could hear my teeth grind. "You stole it, and you're keeping it in your garage like it's some kind of trophy." Karen leaned closer, whispering as if she were delivering state secrets. "You don't own that can. The HOA owns it, and since I'm the president, I decide what stays and what goes." I pulled out my phone, opened the GPS tracking app, and held it up so she could see the blinking red dot. "Funny, this tracker says otherwise. That bin is registered to me. I've got timestamps and proof it was taken. You might run the HOA, but you don't run me." Her face twitched for just a split second. Fear. Maybe, but she masked it with another smug grin. "Oh, please. What are you going to do, call the cops over a garbage can?" The temptation was strong. I could have had the police there in 5 minutes. But no, Karen thrived on power plays. She wanted a reaction. What she didn't know was that I wasn't planning on playing her game. I was setting the board for mine. I leaned back, smiled, and said, "No, I won't call the cops. Not yet." Karen raised an eyebrow, thrown off by my calmness. I tapped my phone screen and slipped it back into my pocket. "Let's just say you might want to keep that garage locked tonight. Because I promise you, Karen, I'm not the one who's going to be embarrassed when this is over." The smirk finally wavered. "I'm not a vigilante, but I am someone who loves a tidy plan." After Karen's smug retreat, I spent the afternoon assembling a quiet operation. This wasn't about revenge. It was about restoring balance and teaching a bully that petty theft has consequences. First, I needed evidence beyond my GPS ping, something public, undeniable and embarrassing enough to puncture her armor. I called Tom and asked him to record. He agreed, happy to finally be part of the neighborhood. Drama instead of watching it from his porch. Then I ordered one more tracker and a Bluetooth speaker I could hide. The idea was simple. Create a scene that would make Karen's theft impossible to deny without turning it into a spectacle. At dusk, I slipped into the yard by the side gate and attached the new tracker and speaker near the bin's handle. The second tracker gave me a redundant location feed. The speaker would play a short recording at the exact Moment the GPS app showed Karen handling the bin. I programmed the message to sound like a municipal notification. Formal, loud, and humiliating. This property is registered to my name. This item was reported stolen. Please return immediately to avoid legal action. I timed everything to synchronize with the neighborhood's evening, when people were walking dogs, taking last calls, and gossiping by mailboxes. Karen loved showing off in front of an audience, so I was going to give her one. The bait worked faster than expected. Around 7, Karen rolled the can out to her curb as if preparing for some grandiose recycling inspection. I watched from across the street through the leaves of an oak tree. Tom was on the porch with his phone set to record. Neighbors strolled by. Someone paused to ask about the HOA newsletter. The perfect audience. When Karen grabbed the handle and started to wheel the bin forward, the speaker burst into the recorded announcement. Heads turned. Conversation stopped. The world narrowed to her face. She stumbled over a lie as people demanded answers. Her usual defenses, talking louder, turning on a smile, accusing anyone who crossed her, crumbled under the weight of public scrutiny. She looked down at the bin, then at the recording, then at the blinking device tucked by the handle. Her face went white. People took out their phones. Someone joked about a stolen trophy. Even the mail carrier crossed her arms and stared. Karen had hit a new low. She stammered about misunderstanding, an HOA policy, and the neighbors weren't buying it. Murmurs swelled into pointed questions. Karen tried to pull rank. The power of an audience had shifted. By the time Karen's little performance ended, the neighborhood was buzzing. Whispers carried faster than wildfire, and every phone in sight had captured the moment. She hadn't just stolen a trash can, she'd been exposed as a hypocrite in front of the very people she lorded power over. And the best part? The night wasn't finished. The HOA meeting was scheduled for the next day. Usually, these gatherings were dry affairs. Talk about lawn care, parking complaints, and fines for unsightly decorations. But this one? It was packed. Folks who hadn't shown up in years came, dragging folding chairs just to watch the fallout. I arrived early, GPS screenshot and Tom's recording neatly stored on my phone. Karen, for once, didn't look smug. She avoided eye contact, flipping papers she didn't need to read. When it was time for community concerns, Tom raised his hand. Yeah, I've got one. About stolen property. He gestured toward me. The crowd shifted, eyes locking on Karen. I stood calm but steady. Yesterday, my city-issued trash bin went missing. It had a GPS tracker inside. That tracker led me to Karen's garage. I held up the screenshot, then nodded to Tom, who hit play on the recording. Karen's face, already pale, drained completely. The room erupted. People gasped, whispered, even laughed outright. One neighbor muttered, "All that drama over a garbage can?" Another added, "She fines us for leaving bikes out. And she's stealing trash bins?" Karen tried to regain control. This was a misunderstanding. The HOA has authority over community property. But someone cut her off. "You don't get to decide that. You've been abusing power for years." Another voice chimed in. "Last month, you threatened to fine me for my kids' chalk drawings. What's next? Stealing our mailboxes?" The tide had turned. For once, Karen's tactics didn't work. She couldn't shout them down. Couldn't hide behind HOA bylaws. Couldn't wave her title like a sword. The recording, the tracker, and the witnesses had stripped her bare. Finally, the HOA's vice president, a quiet man who usually let Karen run the show, spoke up. "Effective immediately, I'm calling for a vote of no confidence. Karen Hendricks is removed as HOA president." The room exploded in applause. Some clapped, some laughed, some just sighed in relief. Karen sat frozen, mouth opening and closing without sound, like a fish gasping on dry land. I didn't gloat. I simply stood, walked over, and rolled my trash can back toward the door. As I passed, I leaned just close enough for her to hear. "Next time, Karen, stick to your own garbage." The neighbors roared with laughter. And just like that, the queen of the HOA was dethroned by a trash can with a GPS. If you enjoyed this crazy HOA showdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more wild stories, and drop a comment to tell me what you'd do if Karen stole your trash can.